give you the evidence you could have been comfortable with to rely on, as opposed to just taking Relly's word, which is not a word that you would take for anything of importance in anyone's life. Whether he had him at some apartment in Los Angeles or at some friend's car or some place, who knows? We'll never know. We could have known, but we don't, and we never will. And because the prosecution gave you no one in this courtroom the ability to track where Relly went in the hour and a half after the incident, only Ill's GPS data did we get. It shows you they could get it, they just didn't get his. They just want us to take his word on that, word of the pathological liar. Look at all the things they failed to corroborate that they could have. To corroborate Efron's account, they could have done any of the following. And we're giving you a sense of comfort, a sense that, hey, you know what? He did tell the truth about this anyway. They could have called Efron's girlfriend, Liddy Parker, who was allegedly with Efron when he claims he retrieved the shell casings. They could have collected GPS data from that night from Efron's phone to prove he returned to the scene. Again, they did leave it for Ill's phone, but chose not for Efron. Could have looked at the metadata on the photographs that Efron took of these shell casings, which would have shown exactly where he was when he took those photos. These are things they could have done to corroborate him. Go ahead. They could have produced a plane ticket or receipt to show that Efron actually left Los Angeles.
Dang.
After he went to a shooting range 2 weeks before the incident, they didn't do that. They could have called Asap Bari to corroborate the conversation that he allegedly had, or that allegedly happened on November 5th, the day before the incident, with Bari and Rocky, in which Relly claims Rocky badmouthed him. No phone records of that, nothing. And then, of course, they could have tested Efron's casings to see if they came from the magazine found at Rocky's house prior to the trial. Of course, they could have tested Rocky's DNA against those casings or the magazine, and they did neither.
This is crazy.
Those are just some of the things. I mean, those are deficiencies in the evidence, and they create reasonable doubts. They're reasonable doubts, and especially when you consider what Relly did with the photos of those shell casings. He didn't go running to the police saying, "Hey, help! I was a victim of a crime." He tried to extort money out of Rocky by going to Rocky and his manager first.
Here we go.
And I want to remind you that there are two hurdles the prosecution has to overcome to get a conviction in this case. First, proving that Rocky did not carry the prop gun. And then, of course, they certainly they can't do that beyond a reasonable doubt, not even close. And then, of course, the judge's instructions told you should stop right there if you find that and find him not guilty. But also, the judge instructed you that regardless of whether he possessed a prop gun or not, you must find him not guilty if the prosecution had not disproved that he acted in self-defense or defense of another beyond reasonable doubt. And in this case, there is clear evidence of self-defense on another. And by the way, I heard Mr. Kozlovic say in his summation that's a new defense. It's not a new defense. We talked about in our summation, in our opening statement a month ago. The judge gave you the instruction on it, not because he was doing me a favor. The judge gave you the instruction on it because there's a view of the evidence that supports it. Right there, but you shouldn't even get to self-defense. But it's there. It's another layer that they have to overcome beyond a reasonable doubt. And Relly was the aggressor. There's no question. In their opening statement, they said Rocky was the aggressor. Rocky was the one who sought confrontation, and they did everything possible at this trial to make him believe that. Right from the beginning, they played their video of 16 East Belmore, which captured the incident. But they intentionally left something out of that. When they claimed that Relly used ills as a human shield, what they did not want you to see was after it was all done and Rocky's out of the picture and Relly's already running out, they cut Relly running back towards Ills and attacking Ills again. So the human shield thing is no longer there. Everyone's out of the picture. And Relly goes back and takes one more parting shot at Ills to the left before he goes off to the right. They cut that out of that video. Of course, they don't want you to see that. That's very damning to their case. They actually cut it out of the video. I'm going to show that to you.
They cut it out of the
What else
videos.
did they want you to see or hear?
Nasty.
The first shot actually occurred on the 1616 Visa Del Mar video, which is why Detective Flores' testimony established that they mistimed the first shot. Remember Detective Flores talked about this. As opposed to our video, which you know is the accurate timing based on two things, your eyes and 12. It's not a game. There's way too much at stake. His life is at stake. It's not a game. Detective Flores gave us uncomfortable testimony in that regard. Okay. It was a rough estimate, he said. They tried. That's not good enough. Gave you a living example how their timing was off by a full second. I showed you the video where one thing said 8 seconds, yet the video was 9 seconds. Detective Flores said, yeah, it was. But I didn't make it. I didn't make the video. Let's go through the evidence that shows that Relly, not Rocky, was the aggressor. And look, you can look at 3 things to show that. Communications, intent, and actions. So I want to just quickly get through that and then move on. But communications, intent, and actions. Let's start with communications. The prosecution wants you to believe that the events on November 6, 2021 started the day before when Relly claimed he was in the car with ASAP Bari and supposedly heard Rocky say, at that end, Relly, I'll beat him up. First of all, I don't think Rocky is going to say he's going to beat Relly up in any lifetime. He's not, I think Relly even made fun of him.
Well,
his manhood, called him some derogatory names. He's not a gangster, he's not a fucker. Certainly, he's not thinking he's beating Relly up. And what's the proof of that? What's the proof of that conversation that started it all, that showed Rocky's the aggressor? No text messages, no phone records, no recorded statements, no other witnesses. And of course, the one guy who heard it, ASAP Bari, who Relly said is still good friends with, they haven't brought him in here. Say, yeah, that's what Rocky said. So we just have to take Relly's word. Just his word. For so many reasons, you can't just take his word on anything. You saw him lie over and over to you. Over and over. I mean, it became a joke. It was offensive in a joke. It's not funny. Including about this very issue about being the aggressor he lied to you on. And they embraced his position on that. They embraced it.
That's tough.
Remember what they showed you in their opening statement, text messages from Rocky to Relly on the way to the Playboy Cardi concert on November 6th, 2021 at 9:34. WYA is where you're at, where you at. Let's get to it, stopped up in my calls. They showed you this. That's the, I think it's People's Exhibit 13. I have that right? They showed you that. They wanted you to believe that these were sinister messages and that Rocky, therefore, was the aggressor. First of all, you heard from 12-year-old Jamel Phillips, who said that there was nothing aggressive about these messages. He heard the calls. They were late for this Playboy Cardi concert, whatever that is, and they were trying to connect with Relly. But what else did you learn? When the prosecution showed you those texts, they wanted you to believe that those were the first messages of the evening of November 6, 2021. What you learned was that Relly deleted the messages before that. The early messages that showed Relly's true character, his true animosity, his true aggression towards Rocky, his true intentions of meeting Rocky that night. He deleted messages before giving his phone to the police. On November 6, 2021, at 10:30 a.m., Relly texts Rocky first, saying, this. Exhibit P. You got all this fake animosity towards me, LOL, beat me up, and I wish you would. Give me a reason, and you've been, whatever. You see what it says, I don't have to read that word. Well,
He said,
made
I'm
it
not gonna
clear
read that
he
word.
wanted a reason to fight Rocky. He made it clear there. Matter of fact, his testimony made it clear. He said, from his trial testimony, what do you say under that vote? Give me a reason, he answers. And then I say, a reason to do what? To fight you, or whatever, at this point. So when he says, give me a reason, explain what that meant. It meant to fight. Fight Rocky. Those were the first messages of the evening. You didn't see that. They presented the other messages from Rocky as the only messages that day. And that one wasn't their fault, because their witness lied to them, lied to the police, and deleted messages. Destroyed evidence in this case, which he's fond of doing. And when I asked Relly if he deleted those messages before turning his phone over to law enforcement, he lied to at first. There's a big shocker to me. At first he said, I don't recall. Then I showed him the messages. What did he say next? His go-to line. You see those messages? It's fake. It's fake. Anything that crushed him was fake. It's fake. You heard that a lot from him at this trial when confronted with his own words, whether text or recorded conversations. It's fake. But he openly admitted he sent those texts to Rocky that day. But obviously he didn't like the way it would have looked to the police, chose him to be the aggressor. So it didn't fit his narrative, so what did he do? Well, delete them. What other communications were there? We're on communication still, leading up to the November 6th altercation. You saw text messages from Relly to his friend Ty Y on October 16, 2021. And Relly was in LA, as we know. And he said, if Rocky don't, this is an exhibit, if Rocky don't do shit for this boy funeral, I'ma beat that end up.
He said,
So-
and I'm proud of you, Joe.
He's now threatening to beat Rocky up because he didn't think you heard what that was all about this ASAP member, ASAP Josh, who passed away. Rocky stepped up and paid for the by to be flown back to New York and the funeral expenses for the family. For some reason, Relly on his own just thought, well, Rocky didn't take care of that. You know, so he would take back. He did, he learned. So Relly sent that message on October 16th, threatening to beat Rocky up. Of course, when I first showed him that message, they objected. Not sure why that's his message, because they didn't want you to see that. Threatening to beat Rocky up. And why? Why did that not be relevant for you to see? It's offensive. That is offensive. That we had to bring that to you. Relly's willingness to lie to you over and over again without regard to his oath to tell the truth is offensive. When I asked Relly if he sent that message to, if he sent the message about being up Rocky, he lied again. Falling back on his usual answers, I don't recall. I don't recall if I sent it. So I showed him, and his response, look at his response here. What am I looking at in his text messages? He said, what? It's hard to read that for you guys, it's hard to read for me. But what he says is, what am I looking at? That text? I don't recall that. I don't remember that. I wouldn't even write that, he said.
You know what time it is.
Not the cap.
At the bottom of that red box. I
Come on,
wouldn't
man.
even write that. And when I explained to him that the text was given to us from his phone, from the district attorney's office, he changed his answer to, this means nothing. Even if it was okay, yes. I mean, just like that. Just like that. So I don't write that. I don't write like that to, sir, this was given to us from your cell phone from the district attorney's office. Are you saying that's not yours? This means nothing, even if it was. Okay, yes. So in a matter of 5 seconds, he went from, that's not me, I don't write like that, to, oh, they gave it to you from my phone? Okay, yes, it is me. That's perjury, ladies and gentlemen, that's perjury. Again, that's a crime, by the way, perjury. So I then asked Relly, if in that message that he sent, if the N-word in his text message, I'm gonna beat that N up, referred to Rocky. And you know what his answer was? I don't recall. Seriously. The message said, if Rocky don't do shit for this boy funeral, I'm gonna beat that N up. So why did he say I don't recall? Because he knew that that message showed his animosity towards Rocky, it showed his aggression, and it showed his intent. That's why we had to bring that message up to you. We had to show you that. That didn't come on direct. His intent, number 2. Relly's message was made clear he was the aggressor. They give you a little window into his intent. But so does his testimony. When I asked him if he was upset in his belief that Rocky didn't follow through on his promise to pay for A$AP Just's funeral, Relly suddenly didn't know what the word upset meant. That's literally what he said. I don't know what the word upset means.
Yeah.
So I showed him his prior sworn testimony at the preliminary hearing, which was also under oath. That's a big deal for him. Question, you were upset, right? Answer, yes. So what did he do? Again, he just changed his sworn testimony in this courtroom in front of you as if it were no big deal. Yeah, I would be upset, he said. So the word he didn't even know what it meant a minute ago, he said, yeah, of course I was upset. His oath to tell the truth means nothing to that man. Absolutely nothing. Remember, he told you I could say whatever I want. And he showed me that time again. When I asked him if he was, quote unquote, pissed on November 6, 2021, and he was going to meet Rocky, he once again said, I don't recall. I don't recall if I was pissed. I once more had to confront him with his prior statement to get the truth out of him, this time with a recorded statement to a district attorney, Mr. Siegel. No, Engel. What's his name? Engel.
Siegel's your guy.
Yeah, Siegel, okay, thanks. Engel. Brett Engel from the district attorney's office back in 2022. And he said, oh yeah, I was pissed. Again, why did he first say I don't recall that he was pissed when he had said it in so many other places over the years? But he didn't want to be pissed. He knows that makes him out to be the aggressor on November 6, 2021. And we were talking specifically about November 6, 2021, when he was pissed. You know he was angry on November 6, 2021. You know, he was now pissed and upset with Rocky. We know Relly was jealous of him. He made that very clear. You heard him tell that person, Wallace Jenny. We'll get into that in a minute. He said, I made that. He used the N-word. I made that N-word. You heard Relly criticize Rocky, saying it's been open-ended promises forever with him. Schroeder told you it wasn't true, that he was very generous the minute he got his first record deal. He moved everyone, 20 guys from A$AP into his apartment in New York. You heard Relly complain that he couldn't be involved with Rocky in the music industry and that he wasn't even trying to be in August of 2021. But despite that, you saw messages in the group chat with Rocky, Relly, and Relly's business partner, this is Justin Benea, on August 6, 2021. You saw during that exchange, Relly trying to get Rocky to help him professionally, and Justin Benea asking him to jump on a call, which Rocky was happy to do, but apparently not fast enough for Relly. Because he didn't respond fast enough, Relly sent a message to that group channel August 5th, 2021, saying, exactly, here it is, Exactly my point. LOL. July 24th, FU and ASAP fake ass N effing goofy. Make no mistake about this. Relly was jealous of Rocky and his success. He wanted the world to think he was successful. I mean, that's why we went through these Instagram posts of his with his lavish lifestyle and his closet of cash and private planes and all the stuff he posted. However, the truth was anything but what he tried to make the world believe. He saw his bank accounts. I mean, he was pretending to be a multimillionaire with $700,000 in the bank. That was important to him. And that has to do with his jealousy and his greed. And there's no question he was jealous and angry about his success. And being as aggressive as he is, really, he didn't do much to hide his true feelings, except for being under oath. At least he tried first. He tried. Remember what he said about whether he would say F you to Rocky? He was actually asked by the prosecution on that one. Would you ever say F you to Rocky? And, you know, if you did, would you mean it? And he said, well, that's what he said. If I said F you, it was sort of wishy-washy with love. So he said, well,
How?
that wasn't true. Because I showed him this text to Rocky on September 18, 2021, which was him saying, no matter how much and try, you not changing. And everything about you, you fake ass N. I did hate you, sucker. I'm not even gonna read this disgusting thing, but this is what he said. This is what he said. No, he doesn't say F you to Rocky. Only wishy-washy with love. I mean, there's nothing he doesn't lie about. There is absolutely nothing he doesn't lie about. That's his level of anger. What was Relly's response when seeing that message? Look at his response. Yeah. Yeah. I said, yeah, it's from you. Okay, that's cool. That message was cool. That's what he said. That's cool. Bless you. That's cool. In which world was that message cool for anybody? That despicable message cool for anybody?
Yep, it
It
wasn't.
shows you who Relly is, who he was on November 6, 2021, an angry, jealous man full of hate. You good? Third, his actions. His actions on November 6, 2021 make it clear, his actions in this court will make it clear. When I was questioning him, he became hostile, volatile, and aggressive. I mean, at one point he flexed his muscles. He cursed in the courtroom. No first for me. He yelled. When he thought I was disrespecting him by asking questions, he looked like he was ready to jump off that stand, man. And that was in front of you in the courtroom. And just imagine what he's like in the street. It doesn't take too much imagination when his actions were caught on video.
That's
Let me show you
true.
that video. But he claimed he went back to the scene, by the way, to take photographs of cameras there after the incident. He said, I went back to take photographs of cameras. Well, you know if that were true, you would have seen those photographs. They didn't show you those photographs because they don't exist. They don't exist. Apart from his word, there's absolutely no evidence that Relly ever photographed a single camera at the scene. And that's because the last thing he wanted was for the police to see what was actually happening with these altercations. And listen, folks, I have to say this to you. I just hope I haven't taxed your patience by my persistence and my zeal. Yeah, I've never learned how to talk about human liberty or human faith concisely or complacently. I just don't have that ability. I just don't have that talent. And I know I'm covering a lot of material here, but I don't know like what you need here and what you don't need here. I don't know, you know, if I'm going through something, you're like, yes, we know that already, Ms. Beckby. I know you can't say it to me, but I just can't sit down with all that's on the line here and thinking I didn't cover something. So please bear with me. I know this is a long process, but it's my last chance to speak to you. And again, There's just so much riding on this, I just can't be brief, I can't cut corners here. So please,
He must have seen
accept my
somebody
apology
yawning
that
over
I'm
there.
going on and on, but it's important to him, and I just don't know what's important for you guys, so please.